Folks, there was a lot of wrestling on Saturday night. Way too much for one person to consume all at one time. I watched AEW first because that was the show I was more invested in, because I am all in for All Out in Chicago. Storylines are there. I like the continuity that AEW seems to have flowing throughout these shows. I'm excited for Chicago. I'm excited for weekly television on TNT. There's a lot more investment personally towards AEW. You should feel the same way. AEW is great for the wrestling business. Certainly great for the wrestlers in WWE's wallets, I'll tell you that. But I enjoyed AEW a lot more than I did Evolve. I'm not going to sit here and shit on Evolve because I enjoyed both shows. That's not the issue here. I am not answering the question of, oh, JD, which show did you enjoy better? I enjoyed AEW better. That's the one show that I enjoyed most out of both shows. Were both shows good? Yes, absolutely. There was something for everybody on Saturday night. But that's not the question that I had going into this. Which show am I going to enjoy better? I knew at the end of watching both of these, which was better in my honest opinion personally, was AEW. The one question I had on my mind all week, and I posted a tweet on Twitter, was not, which show are you guys going to enjoy better? I don't give a fuck what you enjoy. I enjoy what I enjoy. You enjoy what you enjoy. End of story. There's one question that I don't see anybody else in the community asking, and it's quite sad. It's downright comical why this question is not being asked, and I'm the only one who has the fucking balls to ask this type of question. Evolve got so much love on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live that they went heavy on the promoting for this show. Even on the WWE official Instagram and Twitter accounts, clips of Evolve just overhyping the Evolve show, showing so much love to a promotion that has never debuted on the WWE Network until Saturday night. Meanwhile, Evolve has been given and shown more love than any NXT show that has ever been on the WWE Network. Why is that, folks? Why is that? NXT is legitimately a third brand on WWE television. Nobody talks about NXT. Nobody talks about where the superstars from NXT come from when they make the main roster. They don't even mention NXT. In fact, they do everything not to mention NXT, as if it's a disease. War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe are a perfect example. They were the NXT Tag Team Champions. They made their debut on Monday Night Raw as babyfaces, and they did not come out with the NXT Tag Team Championships. Why? Why is that? I don't understand that. It's silly. Ricochet is another example. This is Ricochet's first title in the WWE. Oh, but you are so incorrect, Mr. Goon. Michael Cole. It's not Ricochet's first title in WWE. Wasn't he the North American champion? I don't understand that. Why not bring a spotlight to NXT the same way you did Evolve? The only reason why WWE is promoting Evolve is because they wanted to steal the thunder away from AEW on Saturday night, whom they were directly competing against. But AEW's not competition. How stupid. Yet WWE wants me to believe that AEW's not competition to what they're providing pro wrestling. Give me a fucking break. The only reason why you overhyped and saturated your social media with this shit was because of Fight for the Fallen was happening on the same day and the same time that you were putting on Evolve on the WWE Network. But NXT gets the shit, and they don't get mentioned in anything on Raw, on SmackDown, or on WWE's main Twitter and Instagram accounts. How sad. How sad. Spirit of competition is out there, folks. WWE doesn't want you to believe there's competition, but believe me, there is. Every action that WWE takes is proving to everybody that when Roman Reigns goes out there and says, oh, AEW is not competition, or WWE says that AEW is not competition, they make themselves look like fools. Every action that WWE has taken has shown otherwise. Why hasn't NXT TakeOver or NXT in general received as much love as Evolve did in this 1 week? Oh, they have a show to promote. Yeah, first of all, why is the show even on the same time as AEW? There you go. Petty. But I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get behind NXT like you did Evolve, when NXT is legitimately a third brand for WWE. That was the question I was asking, not only on Saturday night, but leading up to this Evolve 131 10-year anniversary show, which I enjoyed. There are several talents in Evolve that I would love to see in NXT. There are several talents in Evolve that I can see why are not in NXT right now, with a lot of growing still yet to do. But what I thought of the Evolve show at first glance, I watched all 3 hours. I thought it was a great show. The NXT guys and the NXT/WWE matches, they obviously carried the show. They definitely carried the show. The second half of the show was much better than the first half of the show. And those last 3 matches with Gulak and Riddle, then you had Adam Cole and Akira Tozawa, and then Austin Theory versus J.D. Drake. Those 3 matches legitimately made this a must-watch show. Everything else was just there. It was either decent or good. Nothing was really blow away. Nothing stood out on its own. Those WWE matches, those 3 last matches on this show legitimately made this show a show to watch. And if they didn't, this show would have been a huge miss in my eyes. I thought the commentary definitely needed a color man. Lenny Leonard is very good. It's the first time I heard of Lenny Leonard's work. I did not know who did the commentary for Evolve. Now I know. I think he's got charisma. I think he's got a great voice. I think he articulates himself very well. And I honestly think the one-man booth takes the overall vibe of the show down. There's a lot of dead parts. He definitely could use someone to feed off of and bounce questions and knowledge off of. He could use someone sitting there that could really do what he tried to do double of. He tried to fill in the backstory and the history and give me a reason to care about most of these guys and call the action all at the same time. I cannot tell you how difficult of a task that is. I have to do that on occasion in House of Glory. I don't like that. I like sitting next to someone who could give me a different perspective, a different point of view from a different pair of eyes. The fact that he was by himself reminded me of Joey Styles. It reminded me how tough of a job Joey Styles probably had doing that all by himself. We're in 2019. Evolve needs a color commentator. I hope that they rectify that if they're going to continue being on the WWE Network. One guy cannot handle that duty by himself, and I don't think it's good for the overall vibe of the show. But from what I heard, Lenny Leonard is absolutely great at what he does. I think he came off professional. And if you want me to compare AEW and Evolve and what we've seen on the WWE Network, their commentary was a lot better than what we've seen at Fight for the Fallen, a lot better than what we've seen in AEW so far. Jim Ross is slipping. Excalibur, he's the anchor of that commentary team, but he cannot do it all by himself. Alex Marvez and Jim Ross are honestly dragging that commentary team down. Fyter Fest was AEW's commentary team at its best for now in what we've seen from these 3 shows, because they added Golden Boy. I think he was great at what he did. But even the overall vibe of the commentaries, when they shoot to the commentaries to kind of throw it to the next segment, they seem lost. They just seem completely out of place. They don't know what's going on. It's silly. It really comes off unprofessional. But as a whole, Lenny Leonard, I thought, did a great job. The look of Evolve show, I expected better, being that it was on the WWE Network. Now, I don't mean that as a criticism. I just thought that being on the WWE Network, the production values would be amped up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with me thinking that. It's on the WWE Network. This is a WWE show. I expected a little bit better as far as production values go. But, the grittiness, the raw feel of it, the fact that they left the integrity of an indie show, I really enjoyed. The ring could have been a little bit louder, and the theme music could have been a little bit, I would say, handled better. Because when someone's theme music comes on, whether it starts or whether it ends, there's no really good transition. When someone's in the ring, and right before the ring announcer starts making the ring introductions, the theme music just cuts off like that. There's no fade out. There's no cool fade out or whatsoever. And I think that comes off as poor and unprofessional. The theme music just completely makes a dead halt. And the same thing with the video packages. Lenny Leonard would cut to a video package talking about what's coming up next. They do a clear shot of the ring. Then they go into no transition whatsoever. It goes from one scene to the next with no real transition. It just comes off as unprofessional. I think it could have been done a little bit better. Those are just minor fundamental things that any editor, any producer should have a grasp on. That makes the overall show come off a little bit better than it did. So those dead halts in the music coming to a dead stop, the basically non-existent transitions from in-ring action to video package back to the in-ring action, could do that a little bit better. But the overall vibe of the show, I love that they kept the integrity of the overall Evolve show. Crowd was awesome. It's Philadelphia. I expected no less from Philadelphia. Crowd was hot all night. Overall, the show was very, very, very good. Was it better than AEW? In my honest opinion, no. AEW wasn't a perfect show by any means. But I wanted to invest more in AEW because I'm more invested in AEW and what they're doing going into Chicago than I am for an Evolve show that was merely put on the network to combat and counter-program AEW. If AEW didn't have Fight for the Fallen on this night, we wouldn't have seen Evolve 131 on the network. That's a fact. But I'm not complaining that we did because we got some damn good wrestling on a Saturday night. So those are my overall thoughts on Evolve 131. We're going to get into the results right here. Not going to take too much of your time. I know I say that from time to time and I end up sitting here for an hour, but we're going to go over the shows, who I liked, who I didn't like, and the matches that I thought completely stood out on Evolve 131. Follow me on social media, man. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Social media is JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram, by the way. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you guys so much for supporting what I do here on Off the Script. Much more to come tonight with Extreme Fools. Yes, Extreme Rules is Extreme Fools. Pay-per-view review will be live tonight after the show is off the air on the WWE Network. 11 matches, folks. 11 matches. I'm hearing that they're just adding Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler at Extreme Rules. 11 matches for a D-level pay-per-view that will not live up to the word extreme in the city of Philadelphia is a bit much. It's a little overkill, if you ask me. But obviously, with all pay-per-views, I do the review and the official podcast right here on the channel, so join me after the show goes off the air. Make sure you guys check out all this week's videos. Raw, SmackDown, garbage as always. Raw was terrible. Kevin Owens tried to be CM Punk 2.0. Triple H and Cody, man, that's where the real war is. Is WWE set to counter AEW on TNT by moving NXT to Fox Sports? Make sure you guys go and check that out. Off the Script, the flagship podcast of the channel. Part 1 was Friday. Vince McMahon reportedly not pushing his agenda or plans on Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. They will be allowed to have a fresh start going into SummerSlam. And last night we reviewed Fight for the Fallen by AEW. I am hard at work this weekend. Go and check everything out if you missed it. Links are in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. Go and check that out. Click it, drop it down. Everything you need will be right there. Podcast today is brought to you by my fine friends over at Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Audible's giving you guys 30 days free of their service. And as a thank you, they're going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is the following, guys. Use our unique link. Go through the sign-up process. You will not be billed. then you're on your way to get 30 days of Audible for free. Download the app on your iPhone or Android devices. It is absolutely free from iTunes and Google Play. And once you guys sign up, you're going to get 30 days and that one free audiobook of your choice. Over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are sports and wrestling related. Politics, cooking, romance, sci-fi, fantasy. It's all there, man, including wrestling. The best part is, if you guys feel like Audible's not for you and you want to sign up simply to support Off the Script, you guys can cancel in that 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook for free. Great way to support the podcast. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Evolve 131 started off with Josh Briggs versus Retro Anthony Green. And man, he looks straight out of an 80s porno flick, Anthony Green. He's got the fanny pack. He's got the gap in between his front two teeth. He looks like he should be hunting squirrel in the trailer park, dragging the squirrel back to an open fire in said trailer park, roasting the squirrel over that open fire, and having a nice squirrel dinner. He looks straight out of the trailer park, folks. Anthony Green's gimmick, though he's a very, very good professional wrestler, I don't see Anthony Green going anywhere, and a reason why I see some of these guys in Evolve being so good, I can't see them in NXT. There's a reason why they're not in NXT. This gimmick has a very, very, very small window in the world of WWE. Great, but the gimmick is going nowhere. Now, Josh Briggs. I love Josh Briggs. I think he's great. I think he has a ton of potential. The thing with Josh Briggs is, I don't know who he is. What is he trying to be? This is the same thing I've encountered with Mia Yim. Who is Mia Yim trying to be? Even though with that video package, we got a whole backstory on her childhood and where she grew up, I still can't find myself invested in Mia Yim. Josh Briggs is the same way. This is maybe the fourth time that I've seen Josh Briggs by just going to random Evolve shows in Queens to seeing him wrestle here on shows like this. I don't know who he is. Now, Lenny Leonard tried to detail some of his backstory. He had a massive hip injury. He was out. It was an injury so devastating that the doctor says he might not ever wrestle again. Obviously, he's back in the ring, and he's doing great. I know Lenny Leonard tried to explain that he played professional football, or I guess amateur football in Massachusetts, where he's from. But what is he trying to be? Who is Josh Briggs? So at that point, everything that stands out about him, he's got the look, he's got the size that WWE would go crazy over. He reminds me of Big Cass, but better. He's a much better in-ring performer than Big Cass. But who is he trying to be? He's a big guy with a look that WWE is going to love. He can throw people around in that ring and be dominant and be that big man that they need. Braun Strowman's not enough. He's that big man that they could use. I could see him doing very well in NXT, but who is he? Who is Josh Briggs? Even though I don't like Anthony Green's gimmick, very good professional wrestler. Don't know who Josh Briggs is, very good professional wrestler. This was a great opening match. Went nearly, probably longer than 20 minutes. This was awesome. Perfect match to open the show. At the end of this thing, Green misses a 450. He gets thrown into the corner. Lands an enziguri, schoolboys Briggs into the buckle, which was awesome. Briggs wants a huge choke slam, but Brandy grabs a boot off the top rope. Now, I don't think Briggs was going. He was going for some top rope type maneuver. I don't know if it was a choke slam or a power bomb, whatever. Brandy. Did I say Brandy Rhodes? Brandy Lauren. She would be so lucky. Brandy Lauren, his valet, Anthony Green's valet. She's out there. She's on the outside. She gets ejected because she grabbed Josh Briggs' boot off the top rope. And Green gets a super victory roll because of this distraction off the top rope. Only gets a 2 count after a pinfall attempt. Super kicks here by Green. And Briggs comes back with a go to sleep, which is his version of go to sleep. He calls it go to hell. And then an M6 power bomb to win this thing, devastating, and that was pretty much it. I thought this was awesome. I think both guys have great in-ring ability. I just don't know, as far as Anthony Green goes, where he's going with that gimmick. Looks like he should be in the fucking trailer park on Boy Meets World. And then Josh Briggs, who is he and what is he? I have huge potential in Josh Briggs, but I just need some more to get me fully invested in what he's trying to be. That's where I stand on both of those guys. Great match, but I can see why Anthony Green is in Evolve and not anywhere on WWE's radar right now. Fatal 4-Way, Stephen Wolfe, Sean Maluta, who should be very familiar to you guys. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic 2016. Opening round loss to Kota Ibushi. Kurt Stallion. Kurt Stallion. Your mother said I was a stallion in bed on Wednesday night after NXT. And Harlem Bravado. The only one I know here is Kurt Stallion. I seen him. He was actually in a tag team match against the Unwanted at the last Evolve show that I went at. And then Anthony Green turned on Kurt Stallion. I thought they worked great together. Very similar looks. I could see them being a pair and being very successful as a tag team. That obviously didn't last long. But Kurt Stallion, very thin in stature, not much muscle to him. He's very lanky, tall and lanky. Sean Maluta, we all know. He was in WWE, made some random appearances on NXT. Not too familiar with Stephen Wolfe and Harlem Bravado. This is my first time seeing both of these guys. This was a fun Fatal 4-Way. Fun Fatal 4-Way. That's exactly what it was supposed to be. It's Fatal 4-Way. It's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of high spots. That's exactly what it was here at Evolve 131. Stallion and Wolfe, they're going back and forth. Stallion and Wolfe chants break out at the 2300 Arena. Good on you guys. You were awesome in the crowd. They elbow and forearm each other. Wolfe gets a rolling elbow. Bravado kicks him in the head. Wolfe lands a 619 into a nice lariat onto Sean Maluta. Bravado lands a pop-up Death Valley driver on Wolfe for a 2 count. Maluta lands a Magnum Codebreaker onto Stallion, pulling something out of Tessa Blanchard's playbook. Nasty standing Blue Thunder Bomb, which didn't look like a Blue Thunder Bomb to me. It was like a half Blue Thunder Bomb by Wolfe. Bravado prevents him from going to the top. Wolfe then lands a Shooting Star Press, which looked beautiful on Bravado after Bravado hits an Angel's Wings to win it in 10 minutes. It did what it needed to do, folks. Fatal 4-Way, 10 minutes. It wasn't boring. It was fast-paced. There you go. Fatal 4-Way, and that was it. We had Stephen Wolfe here with the Wolf Howls in the Night of Philadelphia, winning this Fatal 4-Way at Evolve 131. Probably what I thought was the worst match of the entire night, Arturo Rujas, who is NXT. He pinned Anthony Henry here, and like what I said was the worst match of the night. I don't really get the MMA guys. I don't get these guys who want to come in with the legit background of MMA. There really is no personality there. There's no personality there with Arturo Rujas. Like, I've seen him on NXT. I've seen him go through a name change. He's very similar. Nothing's really changed from what we've seen of him on NXT. He's got the black, I guess, MMA pants or the karate pants. Don't really know who he is. I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard him speak. We didn't get a backstory on him. They did a little highlight package here, but it wasn't enough to get me invested on who he is. Anthony Henry. Anthony Henry is fucking awesome. If you watch this match, then you probably don't think that Anthony Henry is awesome. I watched Anthony Henry in Queens a couple of weeks ago when I met Tommaso Ciampa, and Anthony Henry went one-on-one with Roderick Strong. That match was fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. If you've seen that match and then seen this match, a tale of two cities. Roderick Strong was so impressed with Anthony Henry that after the match he took the microphone, still in character because he's Undisputed Era and he's not supposed to give a shit. But he said Evolve is in very good hands with Anthony Henry. Anthony Henry comes off, he reminds me of, I guess, a Rebel. That Corey Graves style Rebel. Tattoos, similar facial makeup, similar hairstyle. But this match didn't do anything for Anthony Henry. They beat the shit out of each other. It was a testament to how fucking tough he is. He might have broken his nose during the middle of this thing because he was bleeding. within the first couple of minutes, and his nose looked swollen as fuck. But I just didn't enjoy this. I thought this was very boring. And I think that comes mainly from Arturo Ruas. There's nothing about him that I should legitimately go out of my way to watch. He's just another generic, boring MMA-style WWE superstar. And we have enough of them. Shayna Baszler is all I need. Ronda Rousey is all I need. Anything else is kind of weak and pales in comparison. Now, Henry goes up top, but Ruas tries to take him down, only to eat a stomp to the back. Henry sends him back down, lands a double stomp off the top rope before getting an ankle lock on Ruas. I was kind of annoyed here. Ruas was completely out of position, and he's legit MMA-style background. He's got all these types of martial arts under his belt. He's out of position, and he starts weaseling his way into the landing zone so that Anthony Henry hits the double foot stomp off the top rope. Amateur. It just came off very amateur. He's supposed to be legit, but then he's in a wrestling ring and he's out of position and it doesn't look good for who he's trying to be. That's the way I see it. So Ruas gets a knee bar before they start beating the shit out of each other. They start going ham on each other with slaps and forearms and punches. They go at it with wild strikes. Ruas lands a high kick and goes for a pin around 13 minutes. Knocked him out with a flash kick. Don't know what it was. Looked like something out of Street Fighter. Something like Guile would do in a fucking match with Ken or Ryu. That was it. Landed that big kick. Landed it square in the fucking face. Knocked him out. Henry gets the win over Ruas in what I thought was the weakest match on the entire card. Brandy Lauren and Schotzie Blackheart, the only women's match on this show. I seen these two at Evolve 129 live in the crowd. And they were supposed to have a match, but the match really didn't get started as they brawled into the crowd at Club La Boom in Queens. So this was, I guess, something to play off of that. And here we have a no DQ match between Brandy Lauren and Schotzie Blackheart. Now, the match starts with Natalia Markova, who I'm not familiar with because I don't watch Evolve. She's another one of the female wrestlers there. She jumps Schotzie. Now, Schotzie, the crowd loves Schotzie in Philadelphia. She has this daredevil style to her. She's very unique in appearance. She's got the green hair, very punk rock, very free. She marches to the beat of her own drum. So that type of character, that type of charisma, that type of style is going to be over with the crowd because a lot of people can relate to her. She's in the ring with Brandy Lauren, and Natalia Markova jumps Schotzie at the bell before landing a spinning X Factor. Then Brandy Lauren takes the microphone and says, "You wanted a no DQ match. You got it." There you go. This one was fun. The main parts of this match, which were the ending. Everything else leading up to the ending was kind of slow and methodical. Really didn't speak to me as all that interesting. But what happened at the end was great. Now, Brandy was sent into the turnbuckle. Cannonball sends Brandy to the floor. Schotzie goes for sliced bread off the apron. Brandy blocks it. Now, before all of this, there were chairs set up. And there's a cavalcade of chairs. There's 2 chairs and then 2 chairs. All these chairs are facing each other. It's a bridging setup of chairs. So that's on the outside. So Schotzie sends her into a chair. Green comes to save. Anthony Green, who is, I guess, affiliated with Brandy Lauren. She was out during his match, and now he's out here trying to help her secure a win in her match. Green comes to save Brandy, and she goes to dive on him, but misses and goes through the chair bridge. Green throws Schotzie into the ring. Green hands Brandy a kendo stick before Kurt Stallion comes down to send Green to the back. They were partners at Evolve 129 when I watched them challenge for the Evolve Tag Team Championships against the Unwanted. There was a breakup there between Green and Stallion. They were tag team partners no longer, and then that's when we had Green affiliated with Brandy Lauren. But Schotzie going into that bridging chair spot pretty much was the end-all be-all of this match. Her flesh, her skin, her body hitting those bridging chairs was all that Brandy Lauren needed to win this match. She dove legitimately through all of those chairs. The sound of her body hitting those chairs resonated throughout the 2300 arena. They loved it. They broke out into a holy shit chant. So Green throws Schotzie back into the ring. Then we got Kurt Stallion coming out. He chases Green off. Kendo stick was handed to Brandy before Stallion made his appearance. Kendo stick shot after kendo stick shot after kendo stick shot. Most of them were hitting the ring mat, but the aesthetics of it were there. Just didn't seem all that devastating to me. So Brandy pinned Schotzie with a series of kendo stick shots at the 13-minute mark. She gets the win, and Schotzie was helped out by the referees to a chant of Schotzie, and that was it. This was a fun match, slow in the beginning, but it kind of picked up at the end with that nice spot through the chairs. Schotzie was blasted with that chair spot. She's good. She's good. I'd like to see more of her. Brandy Lauren is a very condescending, cocky bitch type of character. She thinks she's better than anybody. She thinks she's the best superstar in Evolve. That's her character. Not really feeling her all that much. Definitely feeling Schotzie Blackheart a little bit more. This was a standout match in the first half of the show, no question, especially with the last 2 or 3 minutes of this match. Babatunde pinned Colby Kirino. If the last name sounds familiar, you are indeed correct. That is Steve Kirino's son. He came out with Sean Maluta. They are all affiliated in The Unwanted. We have Colby Kirino, the Unwanted son. Sean Maluta is the Unwanted Savage. We have Joe Gacy, who I'm very familiar with, being that he's made random appearances of House of Glory. He is the Unwanted Maniac. And we have Eddie Kingston, who's just a fucking psychopath in his own right. This one was very quick, folks. Colby tried to slap Babatunde, and it did not work. Babatunde completely no-sold any offense from Colby Kirino here. Colby, in this match, played an enhancement talent. And Babatunde tossed Colby to the apron and then chopped his chest to the floor. Sweat jumped off of Colby Kirino's chest to the point where Lenny Leonard says the chop was so devastating that he seen physically Colby Kirino's soul jump out of his body. I loved it. I thought that was a great spot, a great call. So Colby starts to get some offense in here. He hits a sliding knee and a swanton for a 2. Colby goes for a splash and eats a choke bomb into the corner. Corner avalanche by Babatunde, which I don't want to be a part of at all, ever. Leads to a big running elbow and a charging frog splash for the win, and that was pretty much it for Colby Kirino. Don't really see what's all that special with Babatunde. He's got a great look, massive fucking size. Babatunde, if you guys remember, I don't blame you if you don't, was in the Greatest Royal Rumble and a stare down with Braun Strowman until he was eliminated. So that was the last time we seen Babatunde on any WWE television. He's been Evolve, trying to, I guess, get his skills up there. Don't really see what's all that special about Babatunde. He's another big guy who doesn't really have any charisma and nothing special about his moveset. He's just another generic big guy as far as I'm concerned. Gonna need to see a lot more from Babatunde if you want me to be invested in what he's trying to be. We already have enough of that on the main roster with Braun Strowman. I don't really think he fits into NXT as well. You know, if you're gonna go to NXT, you gotta be more than the generic big guy who can throw someone the size of Colby Kirino around. Come on. A little bit more is needed if you want to be in NXT. Really was a throwaway match, squash match here for Babatunde. He pins Colby Kirino very easily here at Evolve. AR Fox and Leon Ruff defeated Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy to win the Evolve Tag Team Championships. I love AR Fox. I think Leon Ruff is awesome as well. They make a great pairing. They're all affiliated with one another. Why AR Fox has not been picked up by NXT yet is mind-boggling to me. The guy is awesome. Athletic. He trained Leon Ruff. I believe he trained Austin Theory as well. So that's pretty interesting there. AR Fox doing his thing in Evolve. He defeats, with Leon Ruff, Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy to win the Evolve Tag Team titles. They've had the titles since Evolve 123, and I believe they beat the Street Profits for those titles, which is mind-boggling in its own right, but the Street Profits are on their way to bigger and better things with the NXT Tag Team titles. This was fun. I love the fact, and I know nobody really paid attention to this, but I know I picked it up on commentary. Lenny Leonard said that it was a free-for-all. The referee was very lenient with this. And he was letting the rules kind of go. And if we got that a little bit more on commentary, and we got that a little bit more from watching the show at home, instead of watching this with the pair of eyes that we normally watch it with, it would be a little bit more understanding. To see a referee do this normally, it would be like, where the fuck are the rules? Why is he not ushering someone to the corner to hold a tag rope? Where's the traditional tag team setting here? Lenny Leonard on commentary mentioned that the referee was being very lenient here. This was up to his discretion. This was his discretion. I appreciated that. Instead of us wondering at home what the fuck is going on, we got the understanding from the commentary about what was going on in the ring, and everything seems a little bit more okay. I would appreciate that a little bit more instead of going into these things expecting something and then getting something totally different with no explanation. AR Fox, awesome. He took a fucking dive on the outside. A tope senton, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Over the top rope onto Joe Gacy and Eddie Kingston. I don't know if it was them not knowing what was coming, but man, oh man, they did not do anything to try and catch AR Fox on the way down. And believe me, when you watch it, you'll know what I'm trying to tell you. AR Fox landed on hardwood fucking floor. I don't even think it was hardwood. It might have been fucking cement. His body smashed cement on the way down. Completely missed that thin ramp, that thin padding that was on the outside. Joe Gacy and Eddie Kingston did absolutely nothing to catch this poor guy as his body smashed the concrete down below. Awful. Something like that is going to get someone seriously injured. And it looked like they didn't even care. Eddie Kingston was trying to play off the fact that he was nailed with this fucking tope over the top rope, fixing his vest, fixing his pants. Meanwhile, AR Fox hit cement. He hit none of Joe Gacy and Eddie Kingston. Awful. Absolutely awful. So we got Fox and Ruff going crazy on Gacy before German gets a 2 count. Fox accidentally hits a springboard cutter on Ruff. Because there was so much chaos, there was a miscue here, and Fox hits his own partner with a cutter. Then he hits a lethal injection from Gacy. Unwanted land, a front and back elbow for a 2 count, double team move. Kingston hits a super power slam for a 2 count on AR Fox, which I believe Lenny Leonard called a power bomb. It was a power slam. Kingston lands a nasty chop to the chest before suplexing Ruff into a Gacy powerbomb for a 2. Beautiful spot right there. I love that. I love unique double team moves like that. That came off very well. And for someone like, not AR Fox, but Leon Ruff to be in that move, it looked great. Because Leon Ruff was so much smaller than all these guys in this match. Fox lands what he calls low main pain for a 2 count. Gacy lands a big lariat for a 2. Gacy grabs a table and sets it up in the corner. But Ruff lands a rough ride onto Gacy, and he goes through the table, risking himself, taking out Gacy, while AR Fox lands a 450 on Eddie Kingston to win this match and the titles. Fun match, quick match, Texas Tornado style. Referee let it go. I appreciate the acknowledgement on that. 10 minutes, new tag team champions. AR Fox, Leon Ruff defeat Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy. The Unwanted are the Evolve Tag Team Champions no more. So there you go. Matt Riddle versus Drew Gulak. This was awesome. Absolutely awesome. They aired an Evolve history video on Drew Gulak, showcasing what Catch Point meant and what Catch Point really meant to Evolve. Then Riddle talked about his philosophy about the group. Matt Riddle showing himself accepting Drew's open challenge, and then they tell the story about Drew Gulak in his own words, with Riddle being a rival. Riddle comes to the ring as the King of Bros, as we see him in NXT, and Kurt Stallion is with him. Kurt Stallion is actually fighting Matt Riddle tonight at the Evolve 132 show in Philadelphia. I believe it's in Philadelphia, or it might be Massachusetts or Philadelphia. I'm not sure. I don't know why they wouldn't do it in Philadelphia again. Riddle is walking down the aisle. He's literally fist bumping everybody. Little kids, older adults, women. It was a great thing to see, man. He didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate someone like Matt Riddle doing that. It just goes to show you how he is very appreciative of the fan support. Drew Gulak looks like a fucking star. He came off looking like a star, man. He looks fantastic. I love the makeup of who Drew Gulak is. He is just, you can tell by looking at Gulak that he's a tough son of a bitch. And he's the Cruiserweight champion. Good for him. Can't wait to see what he does against Tony Nese tonight at Extreme Fools. This was 15 minutes, and every minute of this 15 minutes was takeover worthy. You could put this match on a takeover card, and it would be takeover worthy. That's how good this match was. I urge you guys to go and watch this shit, especially the last 6 or 7 minutes of this match. The first half of this thing was them showing off their submission style. First half of this thing was nothing but ground-based submissions, trying to get the, each individual submission hold on them, the Dragon Sleeper, then you got the Bromission, and you got, Kirifuda clutches, and you got whatever, leg locks, all over the place. All over the place with this. The first half of this was nothing but submissions. Then, Gulak avoids a penalty kick that Riddle tries to throw. Drew Gulak catches a foot, gets a powerbomb, and stacks him for a 2 before locking in a half crab. Riddle lands a V-trigger for a 2 count. Gulak sets him up, gets a 2 count off a belly-to-back suplex. Drew goes for a single leg before eating a series of kicks to the back, and he lands a punt kick for a 2 count. Riddle gets the Gulak on Gulak, and he escapes. Then he eats a triangle before getting to the rope to escape, and that was the beginning of the end here. Riddle lands a deadlift German off the apron. Crowd is chanting, Yowie Wowie. Bray Wyatt's Yowie Wowie here. Riddle goes off the top, lands right into the Gulak off the top rope. Crowd's going crazy. I legitimately thought this was the end of it. I didn't think that Riddle was going to win this because if Matt Riddle lost this match, I don't think it would do anything to Matt Riddle. And they kind of played it off on commentary like Matt Riddle is someone that owns Drew Gulak. Gulak has never gotten a win over Matt Riddle. So I'm like, all right, that kind of plays into the fact here that Gulak's got to win. And he's the Cruiserweight champion. I can't see the Cruiserweight champion or a champion, period, losing. So what does this loss mean for Matt Riddle? Nothing. So Matt Riddle goes for the big splash and lands into the Gulak. Riddle escapes. Somehow he sweated himself out of there. Lands the bro Derek Tombstone. Unbelievable. I love that move, man. Tombstone hooks him, slams him. Done. That was it. 15 minutes. This match was takeover worthy. I loved it. You guys even said it on Twitter before I even watched it. JD, Riddle, and Gulak classic. Wouldn't say it was a classic, but this was damn fucking good. Takeover worthy. Gulak grabs the microphone, says that Catchpoint was founded on teamwork, opportunity, and respect, and he stands here as the WWE Cruiserweight Champion in the middle of an Evolve ring, and he respects Matt Riddle. They hug, they show appreciation to one another, and then he tells Stallion, Gulak, tells Kurt Stallion that he hopes he's up for the test because tonight he's going one-on-one with Matt Riddle, is Kurt Stallion. And Drew Gulak showed appreciation not only to Matt Riddle, but Kurt Stallion as well, who was in Matt Riddle's corner. Awesome, awesome, awesome match. You guys got to go back and watch it for yourselves. This was the start of where the show really started to take flight. J.D. Drake versus Austin Theory. Video package we seen. This was a unification match. Winner take all. Whoever won this match was going to unify both the WWN and the Evolve World Championships. J.D. Drake. You look at him and you're like, this guy's never going to be in WWE. This guy's going to go nowhere. He'll be independent for life. I think otherwise. I would love to see J.D. Drake in an NXT ring. I'd love to see it. He is fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. All because he doesn't look the part of what you are prone to seeing in WWE doesn't mean that he is not going to be valuable to NXT. I think him in NXT would be fucking great. I'd love to see him go against Keith Lee. I'd love to see him go against Matt Riddle. I'd love to see him go against Roderick Strong. I'd love to see him go against Adam Cole. I'd love to see JD Drake in an NXT ring. He is awesome. And the video package was very heartfelt that they showed before this match. He even said himself he looks like someone who should be driving the ring truck instead of being the WWN World Champion. Austin Theory, John Cena's illegitimate son. 2.0 John Cena. This dude in Austin Theory, he is going to be an absolute megastar. I am telling you right now. This guy has literally everything that the WWE is looking for. He is the next WrestleMania main event superstar. I am telling you right now. He is, you could compare him to John Cena, but man, he is so much better than John Cena in the middle of that ring. This dude is so fucking young. He's 22, 23 years old. He is going to be an absolute stud. NXT better get their hands on him now. He should be in NXT. He should be already on his way to building his resume to go to the main roster. That's how good Austin Theory is. And if you don't think so, you're a fool. I can't wait to see more of him. This is the type of talent that I want to stand behind. He is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Theory says that he'll take JD Drake's title and go on to TakeOver before main eventing WrestleMania. Drake says he's lost a marriage, nearly lost his kids over this business. He's lost the opportunity to see his kids' first words, his first steps. He's a struggling man who battled addiction, depression, and suicide and fights for his family. So, I loved all that. Very genuine, very heartfelt. I love both of these guys. I think they're awesome. Someone by the name of Brian Idol comes down and says nothing. He starts coughing and clearing his throat. Fans are completely shitting all over him. And the lights go out, and Paul Heyman is standing in the middle of the ECW arena to a chant of ECW. I felt like I was watching a fucking ECW VHS tape from back in the day, bro. Lights go out, Heyman's there. First time in 19 years, Heyman receives a hometown welcome. Thank you, Heyman. He thanks the fans. He says he's back home. Heyman says that he doesn't do conventions and he doesn't do guest appearances. He wasn't invited to be at the show because every time they invite him, he always declines. But he says this time he asked to be here. Heyman yells back at some people in the crowd and gets a chant to mess him up. Heyman says that he's here to see the future of this business because he doesn't want to be the old guy who watches black and white film. He wants to watch the show and learn more about today than he ever has, and he wants to announce the next match because in 5 years people will say this was the match where the industry evolved. This is where Austin Theory is going to evolve. Because I said it before, I'm going to say it again. This guy's going to be WWE's crown jewel in no time flat. Believe me. That guy, Heyman, let me tell you something, man. I would love to know what JD Drake and Austin Theory thought that Paul Heyman, of all people, was ring announcing them in this match. They had to be on fucking cloud nine. Heyman does such a good job. Heyman also mentioned that they have pyro. And he mentioned, you guys got pyro. We don't even have pyro on Monday and Tuesday nights. Love it. Love it. So, JD Drake, Austin Theory make their way out to the ring. I don't give a shit what you thought of these two. This was fucking awesome. Austin Theory defeated JD Drake to unify the Evolve and WWN titles. This was awesome. And the only thing I did not like about this match, the only thing I did not like was the ending. JD Drake should have won this match based on the last series of moves he did before Austin Theory got the win. There was such a great sequence of moves. I don't know how Austin Theory kicked out, and then Austin Theory went to his finishing move, which he nailed on JD Drake. And the finish came out of nowhere, and it was very anticlimactic. I'm like, how the fuck did Austin Theory win this thing with that one move after everything that JD Drake did to try and win this match, but Austin Theory wins off that one move alone? That is the only part of this match that I did not like. Theory goes for a finishing move, but Drake shoves him into the corner, to put a stop to that. He puts him up on the top, overhand chops him. I do not want to be on the receiving end of a J.D. Drake chop. No. I'm sorry. That and a suicide dive from a man that size doing a suicida through the ropes? No, thank you. I'll pass. Theory lands a spinning torture rack powerbomb for what looked to be a 3, but it was damn near 2.8, 2.9. Unbelievable. The fact that Theory got him up. J.D. Drake is 305 pounds. And he did squats with J.D. Drake on his shoulders in a torture rack and did a spinning powerbomb out of the torture rack position. If that's not impressive to you, I don't know what is. Drake lands a stunner on Austin Theory, and he oversold this as if he was Dwayne Johnson. I thought it was awesome. Flipped and flopped like a fucking fish out of water. It was great. Cannonball on Austin Theory. Drill bit on Austin Theory. 2 9/10. Drake moonsaults off the top. Connects. 2 count. Now you see what I'm talking about. They're on their knees. Theory landing forearms. Drake landing overhand chops. Standing there, going at it, beating the shit out of each other. Theory goes for his finishing move, which is called ataxia. Then Drake flips out and misses the moonsault. He misses another moonsault off the top rope before eating some super kicks. Then Austin Theory lands his finishing move, which is pretty much I would say a butterfly twisting neck breaker. And that was it. That was it. J.D. Drake did all that to Austin Theory. He got the torture rack powerbomb done to him, but Drake landed a stunner, a devastating one, a cannonball, his drill bit finisher, a moonsault, and Austin Theory kicked out of all that. All of it. And Austin Theory, all he did was, off the moonsault attempt miss by J.D. Drake, gets his finishing move, wins, and he wins the WWN and Evolve Championship and unifies both of them. I don't get it. I really don't understand how Austin Theory could go through all that and the ending be so anticlimactic to a great fucking championship match. That was the only downfall of the match. That was really the only downfall of the match. After the match was over, lights went out. Austin Theory was on the microphone saying that these titles go through him. He dropped the WWE title on the ground. He stepped on it. Says the only title that matters is the Evolve title. Lights went out. Josh Briggs in the opening match with Anthony Green comes in and choke slams Austin Theory into oblivion. Josh Briggs has been eyeing the Evolve Championship for quite some time now, so it looks like that is where Austin Theory's going next. I would love to see Josh Briggs win the title and Austin Theory move on to NXT. I don't think there's any more that Austin Theory could do in Evolve, and we need to see him on NXT, man. That man, I'm telling you right now, with how young and good he is right now, he is going to be a crown jewel for WWE in the future. Believe me, he is awesome. Awesome. Main event here, Adam Cole pinned Akira Tozawa to retain the NXT Championship. The only thing I didn't like about this match was the fact that it was predictable. Now, predictable doesn't mean that it was bad, but there's no reason why anybody is to believe that Adam Cole is going to lose the NXT title to Akira Tozawa when he's in a program with Johnny Gargano. That's the only thing I didn't like about this match. Akira Tozawa is so good at what he does. It's so sad to know that more than likely he's reached his ceiling in WWE. 205 Live is his ceiling. He is so good at what he does. This match was awesome with Adam Cole. And knowing that he could go in there with anybody on the main roster and deliver a performance like this, you know that it's not going to happen, and you know that Vince would probably take one look at him and he'd be in catering for 6 months without one single TV appearance. But the predictability of this match, I didn't really care for, but the match itself was awesome. Adam Cole was over as fuck here in Philadelphia. They loved him. They went along with his theme music. They went along with his boom. They went along with his Adam Cole baby. He's over. How they don't print money with him on the main roster is going to be, I'm anticipating them just fucking him up. Same thing with Matt Riddle. I don't know how you look at Matt Riddle and how WWE has Matt Riddle, how you could fuck that up. If you don't print money, and a lot of it with him and Adam Cole, you're doing something fucking wrong and someone needs to be fired. That's my stance on that. This was awesome. Great main events. At the end of this thing, we had Adam Cole goes for a superplex off the top rope. He gets shoved off. Tozawa dives off into a super kick and a brainbuster by Adam Cole. Cole grabs the belt because that's what Adam Cole does. He goes to hit Tozawa, but Johnny Gargano comes out and distracts Cole. And then out from behind, Akira Tozawa goes for a schoolboy 2.5. Almost a new champion. That was the closest pinfall of the match. Tozawa misses a huge kick, lands a second. He wants the senton off the top, but Cole gets the knees up, lands the Panama Sunrise, and then the last shot, and that was it. Adam Cole wins a great main event here at Evolve 131 to end it with the last shot. Johnny stares all the way through Adam Cole, wants to fight Cole then and there. Cole bails, he walks with the title up the ramp, he does his Adam Cole baby, and that was pretty much it. Johnny's checking on Tozawa, and he asks for a round of applause for Tozawa. Johnny says he's been around Evolve for 10 years, and just by that, you can tell he's getting old. Wrestling in 2019 is pretty cool, and it's due to the fans. So Johnny coming off like a really genuine babyface here, not shitting on any promotion, not shitting on any individual performer. He simply said wrestling in 2019 is pretty damn cool. Johnny then asked Tozawa if the fans enjoyed the show, and a giant yes chant broke out. And one guy was so stand out in the crowd that Johnny pinpointed him because he screamed so loud, he yelled, "Wow!" So Johnny pointed to him again. Can we get an encore for what you just did there? So Johnny had the guy do another yow or wow, and there was a holy shit chant. And then Johnny was like, I hope I don't get in trouble for that, because the crowd was chanting holy shit. Don't worry, Johnny, it's all right. So Johnny was surprised, and he asked the fan for another huge ovation. Johnny says he loves the fans and Evolve. Tozawa takes a bow, and he embraces Johnny at the end of the show, and that was it. This was a damn good show that was met with 3 great matches to close this Evolve 131 show. The first half was all right. You can see some of the talent that has a lot of potential. You can see some of the talent and realize why they're still in Evolve and not in NXT. Those 3 ending matches were fucking great. Gulak and Riddle, JD Drake and Austin Theory, Adam Cole and Akira Tozawa. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Those are the 3 matches that you got to go back and watch primarily for this show. Other than that, you'll notice AR Fox, Leon Ruff, they're awesome. You'll notice how great Josh Briggs is with Anthony Green in that opening match. Don't really know where either one of them stand as far as gimmicks go, but their in-ring work really stood out. The women's match was fun towards the closing ending of that match as well. Schotzie Blackheart, really awesome and has a lot of potential. This was a great show. Don't like how WWE went about putting it on against Fight for the Fallen, but this was a great show. Fun show, and I'd like to see more Evolve shows on the WWE Network. So we'll see what happens, man. I enjoyed myself with this. Let me know what you guys think down below. And we got Extreme Fools tonight on the WWE Network. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Both on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys check out Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript, and support the podcast via Audible. And if you guys want to, go check out all the other videos that you might have missed, including Fight for the Fallen, the podcast, right here on Off the Script for Saturday. Go and check that out. My thoughts on that. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Off the Script Part 1, talking about Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff getting a fresh start, and your Extreme Rules predictions, everything you need to know going into Extreme Rules tonight at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I will be there tonight. Well, not there physically, but I will be there watching the show live from my home and here on YouTube for you guys with the podcast. Thank you guys so very much, man. I'm getting out of here. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the Evolve podcast today on Sunday, and I'll see you guys tonight for Extreme Fools on the WWE Network. Until then, guys, take care. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you guys later for the pay-per-view.